You are welcome to today's lecture. And today we shall be looking at basic ecological terms. In the last two lectures, we tried to look at introduction to ecology. And now we want to look at the basic terms that are associated with the study of ecology. While you were introduced to ecology, you have learned that organisms relate with their environment, and the interactions between organisms and their environment is what we refer to as, the study of that is what we refer to as ecology. And you also learned that no organism is an island on its own. That is, no organism can exist without interaction or relationship with other organisms around. So in the process of their interaction or relationship with their environment, there are some terms that we are to look at under the study of ecology. The first one we're going to look at is ecology. Ecology is simply the study of a population of different species. When the study deals with population of species, whether their death rates, the birth rates, how they grow, different factors that affect the population, that is referred to as ecology. Another term we have is paleoecology. Paleoecology is the study of past existence of organisms over, a decades. That is, the composition and distribution of organisms that have existed before and how changes has occurred to their existence in the past, decades. Then we have gynecology. Gynecology is simply the study of gene and its mutation in ecology. That is the study of genes of organisms, how this extend or how this affects organisms, and the mutation of genes for their adaptation. The study of this is referred to as gynecology. We also have ecophysiology. Ecophysiology is simply the study of how organisms are able to adapt to their environment. That is, how they are able to adapt to things like temperature, water, salt balance, and some other physical factors or physical things in the environment. Then we have what we call geographical ecology. Geographical ecology studies a distribution of organisms, and those factors that affect or influence the distribution of these organisms worldwide. That is geographical ecology. We have environment. Environment is simply the surrounding of an organism. The major surroundings that we have, like water, that is marine, fresh water, air, terrestrial. The major thing about environment is in ecology, environment is simply referred to as the surroundings of an organism. It could be the physical, it could be chemical surroundings. Then we have habitat. Habitat is the place of abode, that is a place where an organism lives. Niche is the functional role of an organism in an habitat. So like we said the other time, we are talking about a particular plant now, and the particular plant is green plant and it produces food. The niche of such plants will be producer. We also have population. Population is the total number of all organisms of the same species that are living together in an habitat at a given time. So it's population of the total number of all organisms of the same species. So what we're saying here is that we have, for example, we have different species of aloe. We have aloe vera, for example. We also have aloe veras. So if you are taking the population of aloe vera, for example, you don't add aloe veras because they are different species. And so when you are calculating the total number of aloe vera, that is population. That is what population is trying to say. When you are calculating the number of such particular species that are living in a particular habitat at a given time. Another term is community. Community is made up of population of all living organisms that exist and interact together at a given time in an habitat. That is, we can literally say that community is made up of different population that exist within an habitat interacting together at a particular time. The next term we shall look at is abundance. Abundance is simply the total number of individuals of a species that live in a specific area. That is the total number of individuals, the total number of particular species that live in a specific area. Another term is biodiversity. Biodiversity is simply talking about variation of species. Biodiversity. Diversity is taken from diverse, say different, and bio is talking about life. So variation of species, organisms, different species that are present in an ecosystem are referred to as biodiversity. And when we talk about species diversity, it's the measurement that relates number and abundance of species within a community. That is, when you carry out a measurement of particular species that relates the number and the abundance of this particular species within a community, that is referred to as species biodiversity. We also have biomass. Biomass is the dry weight of living material per unit area. That is, in a unit area, the dry weight of the organisms that are present there is referred to as the biomass. Then succession. Succession is simply the gradual and directional change in structure of a community over a period of time. That is, when you have a gradual and directional change of the structure of a community over a period of time, that is referred to as a succession. Let me give you an example. During dry season, it is common that during dry season you have clearing of lands. So if a particular land has been cleared, for example, during dry season, when rain begins, you have some plants that are springing up gradually, and as they are springing up, we say succession is taking place. It may not necessarily mean the existence of previous plants. It may mean, new plants that are just springing up, and that is why we say it is gradual and it is directional, and it is always over a period of time. Another term is adaptation. Adaptation is actually the trait that an organism possesses that increases its ability to survive in a particular environment. It's able to survive, that is able to grow, able to reproduce, able to feed in a particular habitat or environment. That's what we refer to as adaptation. We also have biota. Biota is the total collection of organisms of a geographic region for a period of time. That is, the collection of organisms within a geographical region, collecting organisms, that is, organisms that are present there over a period of time. That is referred to as biota. We also have ecotype. Ecotype is the population or a population of species or organisms that are able to adapt to local environmental conditions. Or you can also say is a population of organisms or species that is able or that is adapted to local environmental conditions. That is, when you have an organism that is able to adapt to local environmental conditions, you refer to that as ecotype. And we also have ecozone. Ecozone, in its own case, is a geographical area that is distinguished by definite biotic community. That is, in a geographical area, you have definite organisms that are present there. So you refer to that as ecozone. Then we also have ecotone. Ecotone is the geographic intersection of, as well as the transition between ecozones. That is, if you have two ecozones, for example, like the transition in between, when you are moving to another ecozone, it looks like a difference. There will definitely be a difference between the ecozone that you are living and the new one that you are entering into. And so that is what we describe as ecotone. We also have a term that is referred to as biomes. Biomes are the living components of an ecosystem. Living components of an ecosystem is referred to as biome, while abiomes are the non-living components of an ecosystem. So when you are talking about the living components, that is the living things, that is biomes. But when you are talking about the non-living materials, that is abiomes. So in Nigeria, for example, the major biomes that we have are forests and grassland. Forest is made up of tropical forests, that have tall trees due to abundance of rain. We also have mangrove rainforest. Then for the grassland, they are divided into three. The southern Guinea savanna, which is made up of tall grasses with few tall trees. Northern Guinea savanna, which is made up of short and numerous grasses with scattered trees. You rarely see trees there. Then Sahel savanna, which is made up of short and scanty grasses. In fact, this is a place that is normally or literally referred to as a desert. And the world biomes, the major world biomes, we have tropical rainforest, temperate forest, coniferous forest, temperate shrubland, temperate grassland, savanna, deserts, tundra, and mountain vegetation. All these ones are under ecology. All these ones are being studied under ecology. Why? Because they are made up of living organisms. And you will agree with me that ecology is actually a wide area under biological sciences. You have learned that ecology studies environment and its interactions with organisms and organisms that are within it. So ecology is a wide area, and you have many terms that are associated with this study. Thank you for listening.